And we are back with another morning roast edition of the Black with No Cream podcast, where every Wednesday morning we deep dive into creative topics with the goal of giving you a daily dose of motivation and inspiration. I'm your host, Ben Haggerty, aka Ben Real Verse World. This is my co-host, David motherfucking Malave. What up, Dave?
What's up, man? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. It is that time of the year, and
it is that time of the year.
And we definitely didn't come squatted out with all the Christmas gear that we wanted to be.
Yeah, I think last week we had a great idea of us being all festive, wearing some Santa gear, having some festive drinks, and
we wanted to record this drunk.
Yeah, we actually did want it to be drunk questions, but here we are.
But we've been sick. We've been shooting a bunch. We're trying to wrap up everything before the year ends. Therefore, we are just wearing regular clothes. Darren, if you could, while you're editing this, if you could just track on like a Christmas hat, like a Santa hat on me and maybe an elf hat on Dave, that'd be dope. Just kind of lock that in for, maybe you add some Christmassy stuff. Maybe make it snow the whole time. That could be cool too.
Yeah, snow would be nice.
Make it snow. That'd be dope. Today's episode is called the Christmas special, and we're answering creators' calls. If you're wondering what that means we are you just chomping on ice into the mic,
Sorry,
Dave?
That was not smart of me.
We are gonna take. We basically posted yesterday that we would be taking calls. Had a bunch of Black with No Cream people submit their number and some questions. So we're just gonna call a bunch of Black with No Cream members and talk to them and field their calls. So we'll do that right after this intro. Welcome to the morning roast, a place where you will get the most info from a deep dive into the topics that really need life, with your host Ben and Dave, coming to you live today. Grab your cup of joe and take some fucking notes, you bitch. Ho ho ho, everybody. As we prepare for Christmas, Dave, I wanted to give you this gift. It's a cheers, bud.
Cheers, bud.
We had a good year.
This is the best gift I could ever have.
You're welcome for that. As we sit here and drink this nice hot coffee in the office the day before we take off for Texas and Iowa, I feel like we did it. We did it. We did a good year.
We did a good year.
We did a really good year. The morning roast has been a fucking banger, in my opinion.
It's crazy, like, to think about 2 years ago, we started this as like blog posts in the Facebook group. Yeah,
it was just like literally like an idea to just get people jacked up in the morning, and then we'd put it on Facebook and it would be cool. And then I started reading them verbatim on the podcast. And then
so then we went on tour. It was a whole year. We didn't do any. And
right.
Then we came back and we wanted to restart them. And I was in Texas still. So we were like, okay, maybe we write it all out.
Right.
And then you read it.
Yeah.
And
it was literally me reading it like line for line in the car. I would record it in my car because Lauren would be like asleep, and I'd go down in the garage and sit in the car, record the morning roast, just reading it, which was cool. People were, it was great. The literature was
super
fire.
Concise.
Yeah. So it was super dialed. And then when you moved here and we sat down and started doing it, we just like had a really good conversation once. And I was like, that's it.
Yep.
And
it took all the burden off writing and reading.
It did.
It
made it so much easier.
And now we're here. So now we've done like, I don't know, how many do you think we've done?
Like 50.
Fire.
50 fucking bangers, plus all the bonus ones that we put up on Patreon. So shout out to everyone. Thank you for supporting this. We really, really appreciate it. Our goal in 2020, I think, is to try to hit like 1,000 views on YouTube every time we drop them.
Yeah, definitely. We want to bring a lot more. I think we really want to bring a lot more creators into, like, if we can have like a group chat, because I really think that's tight. Even if I'm always willing to step out and let someone way doper than me sit in the chair.
We can figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't yet, and obviously thank you if you're listening on audio for Spotify, Apple people. Those numbers are way higher than YouTube, but we really want to boost it on YouTube. So help us do that.
Yeah, come
shit.
check our faces out, guys.
All right. So the first person we're gonna call is this dude named Brandon Garfias. So I'm gonna give him a call and we'll see what's happening.
Hello?
Brandon.
What's up? Who's this?
This is Ben. What's happening, bro?
Hey, what's up, Ben? How you doing, my boy?
I'm good. You are on the Morning Roast podcast right now.
Oh, Oh, damn, that's great, man.
We're putting you in the hot seat. Thank you for giving us your number. You're the first person we've called, so we don't really know how this is gonna go, but we figured we wanted to just call everyone if someone had a specific question or something we could riddle off some answers. But you're with me and Dave right now.
Oh, perfect, man. I'm glad you guys are having me, and thanks, man. Honestly, I've been following you guys throughout my whole career, and in the beginning of the year, you guys really helped me out the moment I joined the group. So
Man,
I really appreciate that.
So dope. I'm glad to hear that.
That's
we
sick.
appreciate that. Just real quick before we get into your question, just tell us a quick little summary of like who you are, what you do, and then we'll get to the question.
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Brandon Garfield. I'm out from Pomona, California. I started off as a regular photographer, and luckily enough, this year I got picked up by some Spanish artists, and I was able to do some tour photography. Ended up doing my own first professional music video.
Oh, dope.
Not too long ago. So yeah, that's about it.
Nice. Congrats.
It's all small budget, nothing big, but just still doing my thing and trying my best.
Yeah, that's fucking dope.
awesome.
All right, cool. So what's your question?
So yeah, I actually had two. I mean, not my first one was just gonna be, early on when you guys first joined the community, the industry. What were really your goals? What did you really want to do with it?
When we started as far as like
in general,
I think creative.
to make films or directing, whatever point, wherever you started, whether it was photography or film, what did you kind of want to do to be able to change the game, or were you just doing your own thing, or what was the end goal for it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Do you know off top?
Yeah, I know.
Dave.
I know. For me, can you
hear
me?
Dave? Can
What's
you hear
up,
Dave?
Brandon?
We're doing this it's a rigged way where I'm just like holding the phone up to the mic and Dave's across the table, so hopefully you can hear him.
Yeah, he sounds pretty far, but I can make it out.
I'll try to go back and forth. All right, cool. Here,
Right.
Dave can talk first.
Here we go.
Dave, just put the phone up to your mic.
Yo, what's up, Brandon? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dave.
All right, what's up, dog? So I think that for me, especially when I first started out, which I still consider myself like Ben's had 10 years, I have like 3, you know what I mean? But when I was first starting out, the only thing that I cared about, my goal wasn't necessarily anything because I was still trying to figure it out. I really think it was just making sure that my next video was markedly better than my last video. You know what I mean? So like that, and I've always felt like that was a great goal because it was like, you can't focus on, when you're first starting out, you can't focus on like views, or you can't focus on counting on bigger budgets to make your projects better, but you can focus on your personal growth, right? So if you are so locked in that every time you're putting something out, you're getting better, like the video's getting better, you're getting more talented, you're learning more, you've learned something from your last project, I feel like that's the perfect mindset to be in because you're only focused on yourself, right? You can't focus on other things. Like other people have better opportunities, other people have better situations, better gear maybe, whatever it is, but you can focus on making sure you're elevating each time. And I feel like I've continued that, and that's kind of led me to bigger goals. But like even with your music videos, right? Like your first one, you hit it and you're super proud of it. But then the next time you get another video, regardless of what artist it is or whatever, you can make sure that what you've learned in the last one makes the next one better.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my goal. That was definitely my goal when I first started out. Of course, as you evolve, you start having bigger goals like, I want to do this, I want to do X or Y, but I feel like that was my thing.
That's the level up process. It's like always trying to find a way to perfect your skill set and learn from your mistakes. Obviously, like that'll never stop.
For sure.
I think my personal one was always, I've said this before, so it's like not new news, but it was just finding ways to elevate. I didn't know what I really wanted to do when I got started in this. I didn't know where I was going to go or where it would take me. I just knew I wanted to build a platform of some sort, which is a random goal, but it kind of worked. But I knew I wanted to help anyone that would be willing to focus on me, like, or allow me into their space. I wanted to help elevate them. So I just made sure whatever I did to get, or whoever I could get around, I made sure to elevate them in every way possible. So whatever it took to make them shine as bright as they possibly could was my mission. And that's still my mission with every client, with every person that I come encounter with. I want to help them out. Like Dave can be a testament to that. It's like I always sit here and try to find ways to help every single person. I think we just took coffee with some girl the other day, and I emailed some other randomly. I don't know her at all. She told me some goal she had, and I knew someone that was connected to it, and I looped her in on email. And it's just whatever I can do to help elevate others. That's always been my goal, and I think that's really helped elevate the way I've grown, because what goes around comes around to an extent.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. Honestly, thank you guys. That really helped clarify that.
Absolutely.
The questions that that brought along that. I did have I mean, if you guys have time for one quick one, I had one more too.
Sure, shit, fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, early on, at least for the early stages, you know, it's usually like a one-man team. That's what I'm currently doing. If not, I have like a little tiny team. What did you guys think like was crucial to have on set with you, like a second partner? Like to start off, as you're building a budget, as you're getting higher budgets, like what do you start bringing on to be able to produce something better? Like, you know, lighting, you got
Sure.
people shooting drone shots and all that stuff.
Well,
what do you bring on?
I think that changes for each creator, right? So you may be very, very good at lighting, so you don't necessarily need another lighting person if you have that covered. Maybe you're not as good as at DPing, or you know what I mean? Maybe you're not as good as directing, so you need to bring on a different role or someone that can fulfill that role that will help you execute at a higher level. I think that's what it comes down to, is figuring out what's going to help you elevate, you know, in the content that you're creating, because it's easy to we've all done one-man band shit. Like everyone will always be doing some one-man band stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, what are you going to do that's going to set your work apart from the next? And we always talk about it like it's hard as a one-man band to get a bigger budget that you're not normally used to. And then normally what people would do is spend some of that money on another person to try to bring them in, but you get caught in that predicament of like, I really like the money though, like, so I might just do it all. And when you do it all, you end up catching yourself up in like the problem of you're creating stuff and it may be at a lower level than what you could if you brought on someone else that could help really bring in higher efficient pieces to your puzzle. You know what I mean? And so whatever for you, it could be completely different from me. Like I don't like lighting. I don't like doing that. So having someone come in who's an expert at lighting elevates my content to I may have a vision of what I want the lights to look like. I might not just be a person that lives in lights. I don't play with lights every single day. I'm not that person. That's just not me. I'm not even gonna front like that. So it's very important for me to have someone that's gonna come in and set up and really kill the space with the proper lighting. So that's what I would invest in first. Or maybe you're not as good at editing, so you want to bring in someone who's fire at editing. So I think every piece is just different for every person. You just have to kind of come to a real point with yourself and be honest and be like, yo, look, I'm not that good at this. And that's who you should focus on first. I'm not a good website builder, so I'll find someone who can do that for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's worth it to invest that budget into that, but hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, Ben and Dave, thank you guys so much, and thanks for having me, man. I appreciate the knowledge you guys shared with me.
We appreciate you, man. Thank you for letting us do this. This is kind of dope.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, let it play.
Take care.
Shout out to Brandon. That was cool. This is fun. Calling people is fun. I want to figure out how to if we could get it so it like comes into the system.
Yeah, it'd be great.
That would be crazy.
So we can both talk.
Yeah, both just talk. Oh my god, it'd be amazing. All right, so the next person that we're gonna call is Billy D. Burns from Nelson, Canada, which is where actually Mike's from, and you guys should check out that podcast, Mike Parento. You got to hear that. All right, let's give Billy a call. I feel like if you call people out of state, it's like charges. Yo, is this Billy?
This is.
Billy, this is Ben and Dave. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
We are great. You're on the Morning Roast podcast, and we're just talking to you on the phone.
That's crazy. Cool.
So we're doing this now, and we kind of have a system. We figured it out. So if you could just kind of introduce yourself to the audience and let them know like what kind of creator you are, where you're from. I told them where you're from, but what kind of creator you are, and just a little bit about you, and then we can get into your question.
Cool. Sorry, I'm walking my car.
You're good.
So I am currently a university student, and I'm going into PR, but I want to focus more on social media and photography. And so both are heavily involved in that PR. So,
right.
Yeah.
Cool. How did you find Black with No Cream?
So through the Dusty Kessler podcast, hold on.
My girl's she's getting into the whip.
Yeah, I just got off work.
Oh, you're good.
No, he is a solid photographer that I found this summer.
Yeah.
And I like the way he edited and shot, and I listened to his podcast, and I actually sent it to several of my friends just to say, hey, you need to be aware of these problems. And so, yeah.
Love that. That's great. Yeah, everyone needs to check out Dusty's episode if you haven't yet. Check it out. It's on there. What? All right. So, what's your question? I know you sent it in the email, but you can say it again if you have any.
So, yeah, I do. I recently did a festival in the middle of November, and they're going to use my pictures for like advertising and stuff like that. But I typically try to shoot I typically try to shoot employees and not like crowd members, but the pictures they want to use are crowd people. Do I need to have like a release form or something ready?
So you're saying that the photos you took are crowd shots of like different people at the festival, enjoying the festival, like, you know, happy in line for a food vendor or those types of photos, right. or is it just like a sea of 1,000 people?
Well, some of them it's like a big, giant group of people. It was a very small festival, so you can definitely it's not just like thousands of people. It's like you can pinpoint faces.
Right, and then the person purchasing or wanting to use the photos for advertisement is who? Is that part of the festival?
Yes.
Honestly,
so it was
that's on
a coffee shop.
I would say it's on them. Like getting if there's some sort of release or if they have any issues with it, they're gonna be the ones that fall back on it, not you, because they just bought the photos from you as the creator. And then, I mean, typically it's like if you were shooting something, you'd want release forms, but in that sense, like festivals usually will put that they're filming. They're filming, and there's like if you go on set, there's usually, if you walk into any building, like if someone's filming in Hollywood in my neighborhood, they'll put paper up everywhere that's like filming's in process, blah 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 blah, and that's just them doing the back end work to protect themselves that you may be caught on camera, basically. So festivals usually have that as part of like the waiver that everyone's signing when they buy their ticket. You know what I mean? It's always baked into the thing. So that's kind of on them. You just shot photos, got a bunch of content. If they want it, sell it to them. There should be no fallback on you. I'm not also a lawyer, so you may want to double check with them. But I honestly don't see anything ever happening where it would come back on you for this. It would come back on the festival. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, or whoever's buying the photo.
Fair, yeah.
Or what?
Whoever's using the photo as means for advertising has to do the due diligence of making sure that the photo, the clearances of the photo are right. You know what I mean? It's not her fault that she took a photo and then they used it for an ad.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's a responsibility of whoever's using the photo for an ad.
Right.
But yeah, usually festivals, when you're walking in, there's like consent. There's like natural consent as the minute you step on the festival grounds that you're accepting that there are gonna be photo videos taken and you could be in them and they're gonna be used for, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a weird thing. I think that there's like apps that you can get that are for release forms on your phone for mobile. Like if you were at the next one, if that really bothers you that you don't have those release forms, you can do that. But I mean, that process is just so difficult to deal with, where it like slows your process down as a creator because you're just on the fly. You might just grab a photo of someone and they're like pose for it real quick, and then they're on the go because they want to get to the next stage, and you know what I mean. It becomes so problematic, so it's hard to do it in general, and that's why those festivals usually bake that into their quote unquote contracts that you're signing by purchasing a ticket, because they're filming for the live streams and you may end up on the camera in the live streams, and there's so many different things. I think most people know that when they're going there, there's that chance that they want, and most people want to be on camera anyway, which is like, that's what that space is. But if you were walking out in public and you just went out and shot a photo of someone sitting at a bus stop and you posted that photo on a billboard on, you know, I mean, downtown in Times Square, and that person never gave you consent to show that photo of them wearing a brand or something that you're affiliated with, then you're going to get some backlash. You know what I mean?
Right.
So hopefully that helps. I don't know. Definitely, always check. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I'm going to state that again, but this is my opinion. Like, if it was me, I'd just be like, fuck it, and sell it to the whoever, and then it's up to them, you know, to use their caution with what they think. But I think hopefully that helps.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, we appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Later.
Bye.
Shout out to Billy. Shout out to Canada. To our Canadian Black with No Cream members.
What's that?
All right. Next up, we're going to call Brent Russo from Australia.
Hello, Brent speaking.
Brent, this is Ben and Dave. What's happening?
Yo, what's going on? I'm just at work. Hold up, man. I'm just about to take my break. So,
Do you want us do we need to call you back?
no, man. I'm cool. I just told him. I said I'm expecting a phone call. I'll take a break when I get it. So,
Okay, hell yeah.
all good.
Are you going to a quieter place?
Yeah, man.
Thank God.
How's that? Is that all good?
This is much better. How you doing, man?
All right, sweet. Yeah, man. I'm great.
Dave's here
Just coming
too.
up. Yo, Dave, what's going on?
What's happening?
All right, cool. So this is what we've been doing. So I want you to kind of just introduce yourself to the listeners, like tell them a little bit about who you are real quick and how you found Black with No Cream.
Yeah, no worries.
You can go whenever you're ready.
Sweet as. All right, my name's Brent Russo. I'm from Australia. I'm from a really small town in Australia where there is zero other creators except it was just me and my best mate growing up. You know, we were just shooting skate videos, just shooting random shit, really. I was sort of on and off doing that in between trying to find a full-time job growing up. You know, because around here you need money and there's not much of it. So, but yeah, it wasn't until the start of this year that my best mate, Benson Kids, shout out to him, man. Like a big love to that fella. He showed me this podcast, and I'm pretty sure it was the episode. It was like Instagram is your portfolio.
Yeah.
And I listened to that whole thing, and I was like, damn, that's some really in-depth talk there. And I started looking at the other episodes, and seriously, before I knew it, I was listening from episode 1 right to the beginning all the way through, and I was like, well, I'm sure I missed something, so I'm going to go back, I'm going to do it again, I'm going to take more notes.
Wait, you've listened to every single episode like twice now?
He's on his way for a second time.
I'm up to Dave's podcast, so the one where you interviewed Dave.
Wow. For the second time.
Yeah.
For the second time?
What a beast.
This guy.
There is some information in there that needs to be seen by every creator. I kid you not. Like, it's beautiful, man. Like, hats off to you two guys.
Hey, we appreciate that, and I'm glad that at least you found that shit. but we agree.
I swear to God, if it wasn't for Black with No Cream, I would not be as pumped up about, photography and videography. It just gives me that kick up the ass, that I've been searching for, that I've needed, because I've just been watching my mate Benson. He took off, like, instead of getting a full-time job, he chased his photography, and I was like, cool, man, you go for it. And, I'm just about to finish up my carpentry apprenticeship, and, I don't want to be doing this forever, so
right.
I'm chasing that tail, man. I really want this.
Goddamn. Well, shout out to Benson for shaking it up for you. That's dope.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Big love to that.
So then, all right. So if you had a question, what would be your question? Me and Dave can try to knock one out.
You want me to ask you guys a question?
Yeah, if you had a question, I didn't know if you had a question or not.
Yeah, I got a question. What is your morning process, and is there anything you want to improve for next year?
That's a
what's that first half an hour you do?
It's a great question. I spent about half an hour hitting the snooze button. No, but for me personally, I'll go first and I'll let Dave go. I've been trying the later half of this year. I tried to really dial in if my weeks are going to be kind of consecutive, because my days always change, or a project may come up where all of a sudden there's 3 days of no sleep and everything gets messed up. But if it's a regular kind of week where we're not that busy and we're just coming to the office regularly, I've been trying to get up as early as I can and not oversleep. And then I start I'd say the first 30 minutes is literally just getting up, brushing my teeth, going to make my whatever that shit's called, the little shake that you take to the gym, and then go to the gym. Like, I try to get there within the first 30 minutes, because if I'm there and I get that done, like, that is important to me for my health, is just to get a good workout in. Same with Dave. I know his is the same way, but his morning starts off a little different than mine. I know a lot of other people start off their days like with some guru shit and like meditate, or I've never done that. I go straight to my phone like a terrible person. I get right into it because I just need to check emails and know what's happening. But I've tried to like do that less and less. And that I guess would be my goal for 2020 is to not really go to that right out the gate, because sometimes that sets me up for failure. And say I see an email from a client and it's pressing, I'll throw away that time at the gym to go do the job. You know what I mean? If someone's like, "Oh, we need this,"
can, like, ruin your day.
Yeah, it'll ruin my day. And honestly, not everything can wait. Like, there's nothing that is absolutely going to be fucked if I don't, go do it in an hour and a half. Like, I can start in an hour and a half. I don't, but it's easy to just change your mind and say, "Oh God, this is so much more important. I'm gonna go do that."
Yeah, absolutely.
Dave's mornings, he's got a different process in mind, because I usually am blowing him up via text like with 50 ideas when I'm at the gym, and he's just like, "Leave me alone."
What's up, Brent? How you doing, bro?
Well, yeah, I'm good, man. Good to hear from you.
I'm hyped up to hear that you listen to every podcast, man. That jacks me up, bro.
I love that too.
Dude, it's pure gold.
Dog. So I'm still trying to dial in my morning too. I think the biggest kryptonite I have, right? I feel like the biggest thing that messes up productivity in the morning is our instinct to just grab the phone and start looking through social media right as I open, because and my excuse is always, I need time for my eyes to like boot up. I'm almost like groggy, right? And so I'm like, let me scroll through shit. Before I know it, it's been like 25 minutes, and and that's the most it's the worst way to start your day, I feel like, because you're already just like getting distracted. Right.
100%.
Some things I've done to help that is, I was just telling Ben about this morning. I've set up my AC unit through Alexa and my lights so that they turn everything. My lights turn on and my AC unit turns off 2 hours before I get up.
Stop.
That's sick, man. I wonder if you can do that. I got a Google Home. I wonder if you can do it with that.
Yeah, you just gotta buy a little plug look on Amazon. But the fact that the AC is off and the room starts warming up actually helps me a ton, because I'll literally sit there all chilly because I sleep with the air all cold, So that helps me a ton. And then trying to like in 2020 to improve it, to answer your question, I really think I want to put my phone on the charger across the room, because
that's so true. That's something I did when I was starting my apprenticeship, because you got to get up in my job, man. I got to get up at 4:30 every morning and start at 6. So
that's brutal.
The first thing I want to do is hit the snooze button, but if I put that 10 meters away from the bed, that means I got to get up and I got to move and I got to switch that off.
Facts. And then by that time, it's there's no way you're getting back in bed, as long as you have some type of yeah, man. So that's something I want to do. So my goal would be, air off, set alarm. And then I think the last thing is just the toughest part of, we work here. We went work till 10 PM, and I want to go home and just kick it and then watch something and then I end up going to bed at 2, and that it hampers my ability to wake up at the same time every morning. So that's definitely a huge thing I'm trying to focus on, is just fuck, you know what I mean? Chill, but when it's time to go to bed, get to bed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Set that alarm to go to bed,
Yeah, that's super crucial.
Oh, well, thanks heaps, guys, man. Thanks heaps for having us on. I really appreciate it, Tom.
No, we appreciate you. Thank you for being a diehard Black Window Cream member, bro.
I really want to cut what he said and put it out.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
trying not to sound like the biggest fan girl right now, man, but you guys are the maddest inspiration.
We love that. Makes I swear to God, when people tell us that shit, it means the world to us, because we just sit in this dark ass room and record us talking over and over again, and it means the world to hear that it helps people. You know what I mean? That's the whole goal from the jump. So we appreciate you, bro.
No worries, man. Thanks to you guys.
All right.
Hey, one more question before you go to the quick one is, when the hell are you guys coming to Australia?
Oh man,
damn! I was there in 2016, and honestly, it was fucking dope. But I was editing the whole time, so I didn't even really get to experience much. But I don't know. Next
time tour takes us, or I want to go on vacation or something.
Man, I want to go. I would love to go back to Australia. It's fun as hell.
Man, you guys put that up as soon as you know you're coming.
Yep.
Man, I'll get a whole group going.
We got it.
I'll make sure we all meet up.
Appreciate that, bro. We'll do it for sure. Black Window Cream Meetup Australia 2020.
Yeah, what's happening?
All right, later, player. We appreciate it.
Thanks, homies.
Take care. Man, that's so true though about I love the fact that you've dialed in Alexa, because that's been like, well, when it was warmer, now it's fucking cold as shit, but like when it was warmer, I would have the fan on too, and I hooked up my fan to a smart plug, and then I would just set it to die off like 25 minutes before I woke up, so then I like wake up naturally because I'm hot and I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're annoyed and you're just like, God damn it. And if you can beat yourself from saying, hey, Alexa, turn the fan back on, then you're good.
No, I know, and I learned this from my girlfriend, bro, because at home she has the Nest.
Yeah, Nest.
Which is so fire.
Right.
I have an AC unit.
Is Nest hooked up to Amazon or Alexa too?
And Nest has you can, I think, but
Right.
Nest has an app.
Yeah,
So
right.
she'll wake up. She'll set an alarm for like an hour before she get up. She'll turn the degrees up like 4 degrees.
Right.
And that literally helps her get out of bed, because
Sick, huh?
we're both the same. I like to sleep with a fan that's like hypnotizing.
I
And
love
if that thing goes off, then it can help me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so dope. All right, we're gonna call the next person. His name is Jacob Laham. Laham, maybe. It looks like he just moved to New York City, so let's give him a call.
Hello, this is Jacob Mahal speaking.
Jacob, this is Ben and Dave from Black on the Cream. What's cracking?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, just hanging out.
Hell yeah. We are calling a bunch of people that gave us their phone numbers. We appreciate you sliding us your digits, bro.
Yeah, no worries. I was expecting around 3 or 4, but I can make time for it.
Awesome. So basically we've been calling people when we started off, just kind of like letting you tell us a little bit about yourself as a creator and how you kind of found Black Window Cream, and then we're like taking questions. So if you have a question, we could do that too.
Cool. Yeah, so I found it through, I think it was Levi Turner, the guy who does some of Joey Badass's stuff. I think I just followed him on Instagram and saw like some interview you guys did, and I was looking for, different podcasts and different ways to kind of learn more about, this industry and, other people who are doing it, this, that, and the other, and kind of hit the nail on the head as far as like what I was looking for. So ever since then, I've pretty much been listening to everything since then and before that.
So dope.
Myself as a creator, I started out just like when I was like maybe 15 or 16 shooting in-water photography, just of like surfing mostly.
Nice.
And then slowly transitioned over to doing stuff for like small businesses or local musicians, things like that, just because I was the kid in town with the camera. And yeah, so as far as where I stand now, I just moved to New York from North Carolina. So like big changes. I've actually met up with a couple kids in the Black Window Cream Facebook community, which is pretty
dope.
tight.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of us appreciate what you guys are doing. It's definitely a good thing for people who are trying to learn, about other people's experiences. I think a lot of people love, watching the process or learning, through other people's experiences, like in today's day and age with
Totally.
like even just with Instagram stories, vlogging, stuff like that, people really just like peering into other people's lives. So I think you guys do a really good job of that.
Man, appreciate that. That's awesome that you guys got to link up and do a little BWNC NYC.
Yeah, yes sir.
That's dope.
Yeah, as far as questions, I think my biggest thing is I think like being an artist, like sometimes I'm my own biggest critic. So, I'll sometimes shoot stuff that I think is really good, maybe at the moment, then maybe 2-3 weeks later, I'm not as stoked on it, or I think,
Right.
I'm not interested in posting this in it now, or, I think I'm always just striving to be better, and I think everybody constantly compares themselves, to other people, and, I try to do it in a more positive way, thinking, like I can do that more than, why am I not doing that, which
Right.
I think is a more healthy way to look at it. But that's something, I don't know if you guys deal with that or if other people do, but for me, that's been my biggest thing is, just whether it's like finishing a project or being content with it once it's done, just always striving to be better.
Right. No, I love that. It's funny because me and Dave, I'm going to give him the phone first because Dave's a person that literally will overanalyze his content and tweak his content to the very last minute. Like we just had one where he was going to post a morning roast snippet on his Instagram, and he's so critical and hates like hearing his voice and shit. And I know that's like a thing for him. And he'll be like, does this sound good? And we watch him, like, yeah, it's good. He's like, are you sure that part makes sense? I'm like, just post it and move on, because it's literally going to affect people's lives for 15 seconds. and then they move on to the next part of their day. And then that's what it is. It goes into the past. But Dave, I feel like really, I think he's gotten way better at it. And being around me, I literally just film something and post. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I don't really care. I just like, I just toss it up. So I'll let Dave speak on a little bit more, because from someone who's very critical in that sense, I think he could shed some light on that.
What's up, Jacob? How you doing, bro?
What up, Dave? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Yo, I've never felt something more, for real. I think this is a big struggle, bro. Like I swear, and I'm not the only one, but I swear, like, if I just came out with some content, then that day I feel like a legend, right? And then it might be 2 weeks later and you haven't done something, or maybe it's kind of a low moment, and you start looking back and you have a completely different view on it. Or maybe like, dude, it's so true. If you'll create something in a moment, you think it's amazing, and then by the time it's out, like, it's such a high and low, I feel like, you know? Yeah. I think you should definitely listen to a morning roast we did a long time ago. It's called Stop Comparing Yourself, right?
Yeah,
and I think
I might have listened to that one.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is like, it's so easy with social media to like look at other people and be like, oh man, like you're always thinking like, mine's not as good as that, but so like, what's wrong with me? You know what I mean? And that's just not it. I feel like it's got to be a singular focus. I love how you said, you try to put in a healthy mindset of like, I can do that, and I do that all the time, because I really do believe though on the like anything that I'm seeing that I fuck with, I can do myself. You know what I mean? And it's like putting yourself in that headspace, and also like just focusing on your path, right? Like you're comparing yourself and getting down on yourself because you're looking at other people's content and comparing it, right? But like those people have had different opportunities, different paths. They're further along. You know what I mean? Like how are you gonna compare? How are you going to compare yourself to like someone who's been shooting for 10 years? Like if I'm looking at Ben, and I did this on tour, bro. Like when I toured with Ben, like I had no business at the beginning trying to compare myself to Ben. I still don't, you know what I mean? But looking at his content at the very beginning, looking at mine, I was like frustrated, because I was like, you know what I mean? But it was also so inspiring, and that like drove me to elevate myself, because it's like,
it's like the motivator.
I can't compare myself to him. That makes no sense. He's been in this way longer than me, right? But it's like, I knew that like I was growing, and by the end I felt really, really proud of what I was doing. And that was because I was just focused on myself. It's like, I'm not gonna be him, you know what I mean? But like, but I'm grateful to be where I am, and I'm focusing on where I'm going, you know what I mean? I feel like that it's all about that headspace. So like if you're thinking about shit positively, like there's so many things I look back on, I'm like, that's garbage.
Right.
Or that I don't like that as much. I'll literally post photos and have spent 3 hours tweaking like the little, like no one's noticing this color that I'm tweaking, but to me it matters so much, and I'm worried that like someone's gonna notice this little fuck up about the photo, but no one does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I have a lot of friends who are artists, whether they're like musicians or photographers or other video dudes, and I'm always looking at their stuff and saying, you know, just put it out, like it's great, kind of like how Ben does with you.
Yeah.
But like for myself, for some reason, sometimes I'm just like, it's not even like a comparing thing. It's more of like, you know, as I get more experience and see more things, I'm just like constantly wanting to level up, essentially.
Yeah.
Whether that's like working on like a bigger budget project, like a TV show that they're shooting, or, you know, even if it's just like seeing like a bigger scale project and then being like, damn, that's what I want to do.
I think what I think is this, and we just noticed this the other day, like Dave pointed it out. He's like, man, look at the comments on this video. And the video is like terrible, right? The video that we saw was terrible. Just poorly made, not good. Someone that's very, very green. And the comments were like, this is incredible. Fire, fire, fire. Everyone goes off because they're like so supportive in the sense of people are making this content. At the end of the day, you put it out, and that's going to be your history report of who you are as a creator. You know what I mean?
And who really cares?
And who cares? At the end of the day, who cares? B, you're at least you're making something. You know what I mean? At least you're actually making
it's
content.
Like a roller coaster thing, you know. Sometimes I'm cool just like posting whatever, whenever. And
yeah.
Sometimes it'll be like I don't feel like posting anything.
But overall, to me, what's cool is, man, go scroll through I have 4,000 some images and videos on my Instagram. My Instagram became more popular. I didn't delete anything. It's the exact same Instagram. If you go scroll back, you'll see the trash shit I was making 5 years ago.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. That's cool to me. It's like you can really see where shit started to change for me in my life. And as I go, I'm more proud of my work. And some stuff you don't need to post everything on the internet. Like I did a Disney commercial. I should post that still, but it's not like something that I think is like reinventing the wheel. So it's not like something that's gonna blow my audience away. It's just a cool like, hey, I did something for Disney. But I didn't share that. And it is what it is. I just left it off the grid. It doesn't matter to me. It's still good. I could post it, but honestly, it just didn't matter to me as much to post it as other things did on my page. So to me, that's my biggest note is just don't take it too serious. Try to keep creating the things that are gonna fit your resume that you want to build. You know what I mean? Because that's essentially what your page is.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, like I said, appreciate everything y'all do.
No, we appreciate you, man.
Crazy hearing your voices over the phone.
No, that's dope. We appreciate you, bro. We keep that the squad meeting up in New York because we want to come there and do like an actual Black Window Cream thing in New York sometime soon. So let's
get it. We'll work together in the future. Promise.
That's what I'm talking. I love that. All right, appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, keep it real. Appreciate y'all.
Later. All right, that's I think that's all we have time to make calls. This was awesome. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was tight. I love this concept.
It's like I don't know. It's cool to actually be able to interact with the listeners, the people that have been tuning in for such a long time, and to hear their backstory, and then also they actually have real questions, which is fun to answer. I feel like we should do this again sometime soon.
Yes, definitely. I think if you guys liked it, definitely go on YouTube and comment. You know what I mean? DM Ben or Black Window Cream. We want to know so that way we could always do a V2 of this. It's a great little concept.
Yeah, please put in the comments if we should do this again. We need to figure out a better way to like take people's numbers and call people from out of the country and stuff like that. Because right now it's just all
first time we'll evolve.
It's pretty dope. All right, cool, man. This is a good little Christmas
Merry
special.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or whatever you guys fucking.
Happy holidays.
Whatever you do. I don't know what's proper. We celebrate Christmas in my parents' house.
Happy holidays is the proper.
Happy holidays. Make sure to give someone homeless some money. That'd be dope. There was a cold ass kid outside at the burrito spot. Lauren got him a burrito the other night. It's pretty cool.
That's nice.
But it's a shitty time of the year to be alone. So help those people. And help us by going to the merch store and getting the fucking t-shirt or something.
Yeah, give us a Christmas present.
Shop BWNC.com. You heard. Is there anything else?
Next week.
Oh, New Year's, bro.
Next week is New Year's. Our New Year's morning roast.
New Year's, we're going to be highlighting our top 10 podcasts or just top 10 really solid podcasts from 2019 that we did interviews with. And that should be a good episode too. If you haven't heard certain ones, this will be definitely a great way to learn about the fire ones that you should bookmark for January to kick off your year listening to. So look forward to that. And yeah, it's good.
That's all.
That's all she wrote. People, Merry Christmas or happy holidays is what I meant to say.
I think when you're listening to this, I will be on the way to Puerto Rico.
And I'll just be in Iowa freezing my ass off.
There we go.
Swag.
See y'all later.
Peace.